Welcome to the 5th episode of Drunk Powerscaling, the show where I hungoverly powerscale my favourite characters. Today, we're diving into the world of Tolkien's Middle-earth, focusing today on the Lord of the Rings himself, the Dark Lord Sauron. Now, I just want to clarify, I'm no Middle-earth expert, but I do have my fair share of knowledge, otherwise I wouldn't be making this video. As per usual, I'll be giving multiple different tiers of feats, and you can decide on what you buy. If there's something I find that I think doesn't add up, I'll be sure to call it out. So, let's break down Sauron.
The Great Deceiver has returned to Middle-earth to rebuild his armies, to rule all.
At the timeless halls, in a harmonious symphony, the father of all, Eru, along with his angelic Ainur, created Ea, in which I'll refer to as the universe for the sake of newcomers to the series. Eru, being generous, offered the Valar, a subsection of the Ainur that helped create the universe, a chance to go and enjoy this world they had created. Many were loyal to Eru, but some of the Valar, like Melkor, were kinda dicks, and wanted to control everything within this new universe. In time, he would be defeated, and another Dark Lord would rise, his most loyal follower, Sauron. Sauron was a Maiar, the other half of the Ainur. The Maiar weren't as powerful as the Valar, instead serving the Valar. Before he was known as Sauron, he went by Mairon, and Eru tasked him to ensure order and perfection. Inspired by his master Melkor, Mairon had a change of heart, and betrayed Middle-earth to conquer it all alongside his master. He then became known as Sauron, and did battle for his master throughout the First Age, escaping the eventual downfall that came for Melkor. Then began the Second Age, with Sauron now in full control of Melkor's army, using his cunning to make his forces stronger. For instance, he gifted the 19 rings of power to those he sought to control, and forged one in the fires of Mount Doom for himself, but we'll get into that later. One of the most notable Second Age events was Sauron's corruption of the last king of the nation of Númenor, and causing the events that would destroy it, with Sauron's body being destroyed here, but he would survive and take one last stand, ultimately being forced to retreat with the ring lost, with the hope that the ring would be his once more. You see, the ring would remain bound to him, and Sauron sent his forces to retrieve it. However, eventually the most unexpected thing happened. A hobbit called Frodo Baggins would eventually destroy the ring, but let it not go unsaid that all should fear the might of Sauron. As long as the ring remains intact, Sauron will never relent, and all of the continents of Middle-earth shall tremble before the Dark Lord. Now, let's go over his abilities. Before arriving on Earth, Sauron was an Ainur, more specifically a Maiar, living outside of existence. When sent to Earth, Sauron would use the physical body, keyword being used. His body being destroyed won't really do anything to him, since he's a Maiar spirit. To kill him outside of Mount Doom would require his spirit being destroyed. Hell, he can resurrect himself if his body is destroyed or just move as a spirit. He loves his iconic mace, mainly used in the Second Age. His sword primarily used in the First Age, and sometimes in the Second. He can engulf either of these weapons with fire via pyrokinesis, and even engulf himself. There's the Ithil Stone, which can only be used by someone with a strong will, which isn't an issue for Sauron of course. This allows him to see faraway things, and communicate with others utilizing the stones, which is how he corrupted Saruman. And of course, the one ring to rule them all. One ring to find them. One ring to bring them all and in the darkness bind them. Granting himself enhanced power, the abilities of all the other rings, and control over the minds of the ring bearers. The ring also contains a major fraction of Sauron's soul, and carries out his will. This means his fate is bound to it. If the ring is destroyed, so is he. The ring corrupts any and all who come into contact with it. This grants the user invisibility, enhanced power, and an enhanced lifespan. The ring allows the Dark Lord to take control of those influenced by evil, as well as have a major influence on those susceptible to evil and corruption. The ring is indestructible. All weaponry are unable to shatter it, with even the mightiest dragons looking like newts next to it, with the only way to destroy it being to cast it into the fire in which it came, that being Mount Doom. Cutting his finger off won't remove its powers from Sauron. The ring has to be placed on someone else's finger first, but Even then, Sauron would still have the rest of his arsenal and magic at his possession. He'll always find a way to take your life. With telepathy, he can communicate with others like Frodo who wield the ring, and even those who don't like Saruman and other powerful beings. He can manipulate the souls of other ring bearers and other warriors. He possesses geological manipulation, such as erupting Mount Doom, trolling the weather, manipulating darkness and causing earthquakes. He has telekinesis, teleportation that allows him to heal, can use darkness as a weapon, can use necromancy and control those he resurrects. He can fly as a spirit. He can resist any reality warping shenanigans, which does indeed include time. He can create illusions, and the wielder of the One Ring will appear more intimidating to others. He possesses a terror aura that he can use both offensively and defensively to ensure nobody gets to where he wants protected. During the First and most of the Second Age, Sauron could shapeshift into anything he wanted, but he did eventually lose his power after the fall of Numenor, and could only form a physical body. As any form, he can suck the soul right out of you. Lastly, whilst the ring does have limited temptation over the wielder, if Sauron was close to the ring bearer, characters like Frodo would have no way to resist whatsoever. Let's say the ring wasn't near Sauron, or wasn't near the person he wants to influence. The mere knowledge of the ring's power can influence other powerful beings. Even those who hate Sauron can be tricked using their strongest desires, even if it's to kill him. Gandalf, a fellow Maiar, claimed he could not resist the ring's temptations, even if Sauron was nowhere near it. He even turned Saruman, the most powerful Maiar wizard, to the dark side by using his fears. Even imprisoned, he once bent the entire kingdom of Numenor to his will. Hell, the only reason he let himself be captured in the first place was to get to Numenor. This guy should not be losing any fights with this kind of power, which is the perfect transition to Sauron's strength.
You cannot hide. I see you. There is no life in the void. Only death.
He can destroy entire hills, create large explosions. He governed the storms in the Mountains of Shadow. He can summon meteors. He's stronger than Saruman, who could boil the Isen River. He's created a storm that stretched from Minas Tirith to Mordor in over a night. He's stronger than Gandalf, who destroyed a mountain. He sent a signal to Minas Morgul by triggering a volcanic eruption. He shook all of Mordor. He scales to Ancalagon the Black, since Sauron was his superior in Morgoth's army. And he's destroyed mountains just from falling. He possibly scales to the Maiar Oze, who lifted the 600-mile wide Numenor from the seafloor, although I've found mixed opinions on if Sauron is equal to or below Oze, although that hardly matters when he's comparable to the Balrogs, who destroyed huge portions of a continent during the War of Wrath. And we're not done with Ancalagon the Black. His fall did destroy some mountains, which is cute and all, but afterwards this sunk a chunk of Berreland, a huge part of the planet. Importantly, the half-elf Eärendil once turned into a star powered by the light of the Silmaril. What's a Silmaril? A jewel powered by the two trees of Valinor. And these two trees lit up the land of the Valar in ancient times, and when they're destroyed, their last fruit was transformed into the sun and moon. So how does Sauron scale? Well, the half-elf fought Ancalagon the Black, one of Melkor's old servants, and he had possession of a Silmaril during this. Sauron was the most powerful servant then, and became a lot stronger after forging the One Ring, so he should outmatch them both. And yes, transforming into a star isn't a direct attack feat, but it does require energy. Energy far greater than anything I've talked about so far. But we're not done. A Maiar above Sauron, Arion, once moved the sun. It is stated that Sauron is weaker than her, but as we're about to get into, characters equal to or below Sauron have greater feats. The demonic werewolf Karkaroth survived one scorching its stomach for weeks, and these Silmaril also contain the light of countless stars, so Karkaroth was potentially taking the force of a solar system to potentially a galaxy in its stomach. He very possibly has universal scaling too. In the Silmarillion, it is stated that the strongest Maiar are very close to the Valar, and Sauron definitely is one of the strongest Maiar. The Valar created the stars and the concept of space and time, although this scaling is fairly iffy since the Maiar, again, they are de facto below the Valar. But Tolkien himself stated that Sauron is stronger than end of First Age Morgoth, who initially was still throwing hands with the Valar despite his weakened state. So at minimum he's star level or large star, possibly solar system or galaxy depending on your estimate, and maybe universal with extreme highballs. Let's move on to speed. He's superior to Gandalf, who can move at the speed of wind. He flew away from Galadriel. He's comparable to Talion, who can react to arrows and view explosions in slow motion. He scales to the Balrogs, who can travel from Angband to Lambeth in a short period of time. Remember Arion, who moved the sun? Well, this also counts as a speed thief. He scales to Ancalagon the Black, who kept up with a ship. That doesn't sound too impressive, but this ship specifically sailed the stars and back to Middle-earth within a day. Even more impressively, in Nature of Middle-earth, it is stated that all Ainur in their spirit forms can travel anywhere in the universe in an instant. That escalated very quickly, didn't it? This seems reasonable too, placing Sauron out massively faster than light to possibly infinite as a spirit. And bear in mind, Sauron can still fight as a spirit. Now, let's move on to our final category, durability.
You serve me now. I serve no one.
He's ignored impalement. He's tanked hits from Celebrimbor, including his magic arrows and attempts to dominate him. He should be able to tank hits from Ancalagon, who, as mentioned earlier, has multi-continental AP. We could scale his durability to Karkaroth and his star level plus feat, but I'm not sure about this. Most impressively, he took a lightning strike from one of the strongest Valar, Manwë. And bear in mind, the Valar reshaped the universe. Of course, this was alongside Eru and a bunch of other Valar, but even if Manwë had a fraction of that power, that's still mighty impressive. But when you consider that in their primes, Melkor, or Morgoth, the strongest Valar, was above Sauron, then this scaling just doesn't work. You could say that since Morgoth was the strongest Valar, then Manwë isn't at his level. If Sauron could scale, and you could be right, not to mention that Sauron at his peak is stronger than Morgoth at the end of the First Age, who did throw hands with the Valar, and he's already comparable in speed, but it's completely your choice. So for durability, Sauron is anywhere between multi-continental, potentially star level plus, and a small chance of being potentially universal. Not that it matters really if whoever he's fighting can't destroy his spirit or the One Ring. Oh god. If you watched episode 4, you know I mentioned Mortal Kombat scaling being a bit of a headache. Yeah, well, if that's a headache, then this is the full hangover. Again, a lot of the high-end scaling is up to your interpretation, and I'm sure there's plenty of missed out on as someone who hasn't delved this deep into the Tolkien rabbit hole before. And man, is Sauron interesting. So, if you ever thought to yourself that Voldemort would be a fair fight for him, think again. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, and as always, be excellent to each other.